Yeah, something like that.
Every time I was like, he was old as hell. Like, he was an old-ass baseball player turned QB, and I'm like, Florida State's never had great quarterback play except Jameis. That's the only one I can name of that made it to the league and was actually decent. But whatever. So, on to the last thing, college football. The list of players who have essentially checked out and decided that they're going to forego their, next season to play. There's a couple of them, starting with Wake Forest wide receiver Sage Surratt. He declared this week. Michigan offensive tackle Jalen Mayfield. You also have LSU safety / corner DB Kerry Vincent Jr., Pitt defensive lineman Jalen Twyman, who wears the number 97 in honor of Aaron Donald, and he actually had like 10.5 sacks past season. He also declared he would forego next season, as well as Michigan cornerback, and this happened like a couple hours ago, Ambry Thomas. He foregoed his senior year. Northwestern offensive tackle Rashawn Slater. I don't know if he's related to Jackie Slater, but I kind of want to find out. Pete. But yeah, he also declared for the draft. So that list just keeps growing and growing of players opting out of spring college football for the NFL. And that's college football.
Yeah, so fun fact, the Florida Gators have a chant called Gator Bait, which has been under scrutiny because that was a racist way of referring to black children in the 1800s.
Because they used to throw black children, into the water and literally use them as gator bait.
Wow.
Yeah.
All throughout the South. In Louisiana, it was really popular to kill black kids, leave them in the bayou.
I feel like almost about half of every outdoor activity in Florida is racist.
Yeah, you wouldn't be wrong. That's actually great numbers.
About 50%, right?
Honestly, you could have
The
said
percent
77.
moves higher as you move into Georgia. Moves up to like 80.
Because Georgia was founded, it was literally a slave state. Like, it wasn't a state. People, the Gullah Geechee people and other freed black people would have to get through the territory known as Georgia to get to Florida. Once you got to Florida, you were considered free. So what this racist-ass country decided was, let's just found Georgia as a slave-catching state. That's why it's so racist. That's why you keep seeing all the stuff going on down there. And you can look up the Atlanta child murders that happened.
Jeez.
So, yeah.
All right, well, let's get back to football.
Yeah.
On that note.
Happier times.
Happier times. Right?
We finally found a use for this song.
It's like the Wrap It Up song you see on the Chappelle Show. Wrap it up, B.
And that was perfect sequence, how I just stopped the beat and you started it. Great job. Great job.
This week on Take or Tangent, we got a story. Darius Goussey, former running back.
Guys. It's okay. It's
okay.
weird.
It's
It's okay.
Darius Guice. Are you sure it's even Darius? Because he spells it weird. It's like DeerRius.
Let's just take one name at a time. Let's go from there.
I checked. I remember a black dude who said his name that sounded French. I never heard Darius. Like, that'd be a weird way to say it.
Anyways,
Darius.
the former LSU running back and first-round pick of the Washington
He
Foreskins.
was the second-round pick.
Oh, he was?
Yeah, that's why everybody was so shocked that he slipped to the second round. And I was like, he's baby Marshawn. The Raiders should take him.
Anyways, he was released a few weeks ago amid domestic violence charges, and this week resurfaced allegations of him raping two women weeks apart in 2016,
His
freshman year. Both women alleged that they fell asleep in their bed and woke up and had no consent, nothing other than flashbacks. So you got to take her tangent on really where Goussey's career goes from here.
I'm going to just say guys. Like dice.
I don't know.
Guys.
The U silent? Are you sure the U silent?
Guys.
I'm going to look this up. Go ahead.
Telling you,
guys.
Give me a take attention.
Yeah, but the problem is if you look it up, you're gonna say it wrong, even through Google's pronunciation of it. You're gonna look at the spelling and say the spelling wrong.
If you ask Siri, it'd be hilarious.
Siri should just be your voice trying to say shit. Constantine, just start saying random long words. But
Google says it's like juice.
Wow, I said guys.
It's pronounced juice.
It's not juice.
So
it's
like
not pronounced
are
juice.
these girls singing, like yelling out Beetlejuice, Beetlejuice, Beetlejuice? Oh no, I got raped.
Wow. Holy shit. I almost got an aneurysm. I'm sorry. I almost caught a brain aneurysm just now.
Bro, when you make me a kidney speechless, that's bad.
I said, wait, everybody relax. I'm going to get this back on the rails. Holy shit. I don't even hear what you said.
Me Too fire alarm.
I heard it, the words hit me, but it didn't register. I was like, wait. It's like me when I tried to pay for my fucking dorm fees.
Anyways,
anyway, seriously.
For his career, you gotta take a retention.
Man, legal system's gotta work itself out. And I know he had some false accusations in college, but he also had some other accusations that were looking kind of, and you know, sometimes your demons come back to haunt you. And there's a pattern clearly of. I mean, I read a story on him about like what he went through in high school and anger issues and shit like that, and he runs angry. Like, dude might want to get some therapy.
Yeah.
And I paused on purpose. I didn't have indigestion, just in case.
Where there's smoke, there's fire. Whether that's
where there's juice, it's probably on the loose.
Yeah, something like that.
But
I mean, I don't know if he's guilty for these. Only he knows. Those women know, and God knows. But
Ed Ogeron possibly.
I know but I know that he's at least guilty of putting himself in bad positions, both in college and in the pros. So I don't know if he's ever going to be able to redeem himself. It's probably going to take at least a few years. We're going to have to see him go away for a little bit, like we've seen, you know, Deion, Jordan, and Marshawn. Even he was like away for like 6 months to a year.
Marshawn Lynch?
Yeah. Like he had to find a mentor and go through therapy and figure his life out after Buffalo.
Buffalo does that to people.
But yeah, so
and he's from Cali. He's from East Oakland. So.
He's gonna have to figure it out, but
yeah, that whole situation legally is gonna have to figure itself out. But yikes.
Speaking of someone who's come back from trauma, Des Bryant. He's working out with the Baltimore Ravens. I think he worked out with the Ravens last year too, didn't he? I feel like he did.
He worked out with them today.
But yeah, he worked out with them this week. He is committed to playing in 2020. So do you got to take a tangent on Des Bryant?
Yeah, I don't think it ends for him. There's really only a couple routes they say he can run, like Deion said, because he kind of lost some of that explosion athleticism because of the foot injury. But I would say when it comes to him, the Ravens should think about it because, I mean, he'd be their most sure-handed receiver.
And they need
a
big receiver.
Yeah, they do.
So, big possession guy. I think
they got Miles Boykin, but he's really still learning to be a receiver at 6'4", 6'5".
Plus,
which is crazy to say.
Plus, you need some of that dog mentality. I think every locker room needs someone who can get everyone fired up and yip and yap and get you that 3rd and 7 as well. So
I think he realizes he's not a number one receiver, and he hasn't been for a long time. So
I mean, he's been hurt the past 2 years, to be fair.
Exactly.
So
if you're hurt, your availability is the best ability, is it not?
I mean, I think about Brandon Marshall. He was still effective those last couple of years.
Yeah, he got a raw deal. He kind of got a raw deal on the way out. Because there's a lot of teams he could have played for, but it's just, do you want to be in a losing situation? And I think he was really protective of his mental health.
Yeah, I think that was a big thing with Brandon Marshall, too, is that his mental health. And that was just another thing that came, it was just the luggage that he carried with him, unfortunately. So, I mean, he had a lot of talent. But.
Chicago.
But he worked through that.
Yeah,
he came on the other side of it.
But
well, he accepted it, and he brought it out, and that he was kind of on the front line about bringing notice.
He was, I think,
still health.
Is. Even a few months ago, he was like, "Yeah, like if I came out right now, it'd be a lot different. People would talk to me differently. They'd would have taken the things that I did differently.
Personally, I think if he didn't really acknowledge it during his career probably would have been shorter.
Yeah, because they wanted to can him after he was kicking balls.
But I
Denver.
feel like he also did call some of these other people who were coming out soft, though, too.
But some people, it looked like some people were kind of riding the clout wave.
Yeah.
And he called it out. And he does a podcast with him, Fred Taylor, Reggie, Wayne, Channing Crowder, and somebody else. It's actually really good. Like when they the conversation.
Sounds good. It just sounds random. Like
the fact they had Chad Johnson on at one point, I was like, damn. But they were talking about real stuff. They're like, yo, mental health is cool to talk about now, but back when I was playing, people would look at you as soft. It would be seen as a weakness. This, that, and the third. So,
well, I mean, we joke about it, right? You take someone out of the hood, but you never take the hood out of them.
You don't take their trauma. They take their trauma with them.
Exactly. It's the same thing. You take the person out the trauma, but it still goes with them. There's still black men in America. Yeah.
And if you don't ever unlearn the trauma and leave it behind in certain places and spaces, then you just relive it every day in some aspect of your life. So, in that case, when it comes to Des Bryant, at least, because he did rupture his Achilles, and he'd been through some stuff, you kind of just hope it works out. Because it would have worked with the Saints had he not gotten hurt.
Yeah.
Next up, Bashaud Breeland, cornerback for the Kansas City Chiefs, the Super Bowl champion, Kansas City Chiefs. Shout out to Mikhail, the PG, and courtside. Breeland caught a 4-game suspension for violating the substance abuse policy. So you got to take her tangent on that. Dog, can you have the Chiefs had the Chiefs have an ensemble cast at corner for a solid decade. When was the last reoccurring corner there? Marcus Peters?
Patrick Surtain.
And they wanted to get him the fuck out of there as soon as he was there?
for a couple of years. But mostly Patrick Surtain.
I guess. I don't even remember him there. I remember him in Miami.
I think he played for the Chiefs too, though.
I mean, I
Eric
think he
Warfield, did. Was he a safety? They had a stable corner. I just don't remember his damn name. But I'm pretty sure Surtain was a Chief at one point. Ty Law was a Chief.
And 2 years ago, Breeland was he missed half the season. He was signed with Green Bay.
He was a Redskin.
Or was that last year? He signed with Green Bay.
Signed with Green Bay last year.
And then he ended up getting cut midseason and then joining the Chiefs or some shit like that, right?
Yeah, because he wasn't playing all that great in Green Bay. And they already had young corners. So he was kind of locked out.
And then we got the Chiefs also banning Indian headdresses, and they're reviewing the tomahawk chalk. You got to take her tangent on that.
Yeah, there should be hopefully someone that was like, yo, all those white people coming to our games painting their faces like they're actually Indians. That's racist, right? It's always been racist, but we love our Chiefs fans. So we kind of just, let it go as part of fandom. But that shit is racist, and we won a Super Bowl, so let's be on the right side of history.
It just feels like a little too late. You've been doing it for 100 years. You can't take that away. We're still going to see Chiefs highlights of them doing the fucking Seminole chant and tomahawk chant.
I'll give it to you like this. Black people were getting lynched for hundreds of years, and in some places, sundown towns, and hell, the whole South Bay used to be a sundown town.
That's totally different.
No, but I'm saying what's different is the act, but the energy is still the same. If certain white people, there's pictures of white children smiling at a lynched black body, but when I see a black person lynched, I have a different reaction. Because I know that's wrong. The same way a lot of those Native Americans are like, yeah, when we see y'all putting on our war paint and you're mocking, you don't realize you're mocking us, but you're definitely mocking us. It's definitely. Like those drunk people in the stands, they're not wearing headbands and head guards because they respect the Choctaw or the Cherokee or anybody else. No, they're a bunch of drunk-ass Chiefs fans. That's not I get what you're saying. The damage is done. But you should probably cut that shit out. Stop while you're ahead is what
Give them back their land. Like, there's so many other shit that is wrong.
That don't mean you should stop